I'm curious because I know there are people who are wanting to get into silver pouring, or maybe they're just new to it, and it is a growing community. What sort of advice would you have for someone who's just starting out? What's up, YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and I am super excited to be talking to once again Hi Ho Silver. How are you doing, my good friend?
Good, good. Thanks for setting some time aside to have a conversation. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, I know you have this beautiful new round out, and maybe you can talk about it a little bit, and then we'll get into some of the silver pouring stuff because I know people are really interested about that. But walk me through this new 1 ounce round.
Well, in 2022, Intalio Mint and I did a collaboration piece, and we had hoped that was a 2 ounce limited collector's piece, and we had hoped to follow up in 2023 with a 1 ounce, but a bunch of things happened in my life that kind of put that off, and so now it's just come out a couple weeks ago, and it's called "In God We Trust," and the prayer at Valley Forge is the subject. It shows George Washington at Valley Forge, um, kneeling in prayer. Got the little horse in the background. So this is the 1 ounce lower premium follow up that we did to the collaboration we did in 2022.
Yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous, and this one doesn't say Intaglio Mint on it, which is also different.
Right. It's just my logo this time. It's still made by them in Denver. So Antonio Mint and I did a true collaboration on the original 2 ounce. And on this one, that may be the only dual logo piece he's ever done and doesn't intend to do. So this one is just my logo on the back with "In God We Trust" behind it in the field. And then the subject matter on the front, the obverse, is just the same with George Washington.
Yeah, it's a very cool round. And is this one going to be somewhat limited as well? Is there maximum mintage?
It's a mintage of 1,000.
Okay. Are you going to try and do them like every year, different like antiquing or anything crazy, or is it just going to be this one run?
This one is just one run, and I wanted it to be as affordable as I could make it. It's pretty expensive to make your own custom rounds like that, but I really like the message, and I wanted as many people to be able to include it in their collections as they could. So this is just the lower premium 1 ounce. I have done and shared and sold on my Instagram account about 25 or 30 antiqued that I did. Um, those kind of hurt my neck. So as I do the rubbing off of the blackened part of the silver, it put a strain on my spine. I've got a bad spine. So those will be limited. And I've done a couple of other experimental finishes on it. But basically, it's just the straight BU finish.
Awesome. And just so people know, if they want to pick it up themselves, where are these going to be available?
They're on sale on my site, tastysilver.com. If you go there, you'll see the "In God We Trust" right there on the front page. You can click through. I've got it set for singles, lots of 5, lots of 10, and full tubes of 20. And Apponex will be selling them probably starting in about 2 weeks. And I've got a few others at coin stores and wholesalers that are out there, but mostly it's me, and tastysilver.com is my little site.
All right. Well, there you go. So, if people want to check it out, definitely make sure to pick one up and support HiHo. Now, I want to get into sort of your story, HiHo, because we haven't really talked about it on my channel that much, but you've been around in the community for a very long time. When did you start getting into silver and I know pouring and all that stuff?
I started stacking in mid 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I had been thinking about it for a while. I was going to originally kind of just start getting some gold little by little, but as with so many of us, we don't want just one piece. We want a bunch of different things, and the price of silver made it an easier entry point to the precious metals. So I started doing that in mid 2014 and started a YouTube channel not too long after that, and just kind of built it up. It was kind of a show and tell channel, and it's the HiHos Silver channel. I still put things up on occasion, but it was kind of a lot of the community that at that point in on YouTube was more than just the medals. It was, and here's my dog, and here's where I live, and here's me out riding my four wheeler, or whatever. And it was kind of a fun thing. So that's what my channel was, and I just stacked really hard for about 4 years and finished my stacking goals in 2018. And since I started pouring in 2015, I'm still involved in the market, and I still get to enjoy the different things people are collecting, but I've stopped purchasing for my own stack. I still kind of play around with it now and then, sell a collectible and purchase something else. But the basic goal for my stack is to have an asset to leave to my heirs.
Yeah, that's a really good strategy. Set goals, achieve them, and also have fun with it. I do collect a bunch of series. I'm still stacking myself. I started a little bit later than you in 2018, so you kind of got a head start on me, hi ho. But walk me through the pouring, because when it comes to silver pourers, there's not a lot of us. And it seems like there's more recently, probably in the last 3, 4 years. We've seen a lot of new ones pop up, but you've been doing this a very long time. So when you started, was there any info on YouTube on how to do it, or were you kind of paving the way?
Um, I wasn't really able to find anybody to show me. I was probably one of your first couple dozen subscribers. I remember back in the day when you came on. It's been
Oh,
really
thank
fun.
you.
It's been great watching you do what you do, and it's fun to keep track of all that stuff. With the pouring, I started after I saw Salivate Metal he had a friend that worked with metals, and so he and a friend who wasn't a friend. What I remember is she wasn't wearing any shoes; she just had sandals, and they were pouring metals. I thought that was a little precarious, and I thought, well, hell, that might be fun. And so I just had some silver shot, um, and I decided I'd go ahead. I thought I was going to have somebody make it into something for me when I bought it, but I decided, well, I'll go ahead and give it a try. So I ran a sale of some of my different things that I had that I was ready to sell, and bought some stuff and started pouring. There wasn't really anybody showing, here's how you do it. Now you can find almost anything you want to know on metals pouring. There were a couple of people who were, refining 14 karat gold from their jewelry store, real kind of a dirty, sloppy kind of a deal. So basically, I just kind of taught myself. I did an offshoot from my HiHos Silver channel called Bunker Bullion series, and it was just, hey, here's HiHo pouring silver, and I did about 35 different episodes of that as I learned. And what's been fun is a lot of successful pourers now got their start by seeing me mess around with it back in the day. And so that's something that I'm proud of, as I see this really excellent work being done in silver pouring now. And I always get a little bit of a thrill knowing that, hey, that guy started because he saw me doing it too.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I did watch a few of your videos when I was first thinking about pouring, and I started pouring in 2018, and I do have a few of your pieces as well. They're absolutely gorgeous. The thing that I noticed most about your style, because everyone's got their own unique style, is how you get that incredible shine. And some of the, like the ones I have, they're still shiny for years and years. So I know you put a lot of work and effort into your craft over the years, and it definitely shows. I'm curious, do you do only furnace pours, or do you do the torch as well?
I don't do, I live in Douglas County, right on the Columbia River, Washington State, and we officially have the cheapest electricity in the country. So I decided pretty quickly that I was going to do everything with electric. I use a torch very sparingly, hardly ever. But I do different furnaces. Sometimes I pour a lot of the the things, for example, that I sell through AppMex need to pretty much be the same, every one of them. So those are what I call direct melt casting. Um, the the thing with the shine, and those I enjoy doing with the casting, is getting a real perfect shine. Um, as I you remember when I was doing my early how-to videos, I filmed almost every single pour, thousands of pours, and I would watch them in slow motion and try to. I didn't know what I was doing, not a clue. I wasn't particularly handy. I'm a classical and jazz musician, and was a music teacher, and so I didn't have any clue what I was doing whatsoever. But I filmed it, and I started to kind of figure out. Oh, I see. When you do this, this happens, and I started to become fascinated with the cooling lines being um, kind of a collection of photographs over time. So it captures the motion over time. And that kind of developed into me trying to capture no motion, complete stillness. And that's where you can get the real serious mirrored shiny things. Um, because there's much less surface area when it's that flat. So you get the impression of ultra shine because the light is less diffused. Anyway, it just kind of became part of the brand. I tried everything. I even jokingly was using belt sanders and all kinds of weird stuff just for fun, to figure out, silver is the shiniest metal that exists. Might as well, use that. And so that just kind of became part of my look. I've done different finishes. I really enjoy doing a toning that's kind of unique lately too, and do some antiquing and some matte finish stuff. But basically, bunker bullion is shiny.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Bunker Bullion, that incredible shine. Some of your new kind of like camo tone stuff is really cool, though I've been seeing. I'm curious because I know there are people who are wanting to get into silver pouring, or maybe they're just new to it. And it is a growing community. What sort of advice would you have for someone who's just starting out?
um, don't try to sell anything. I see a lot of new pourers jump the gun, and I mentioned that I'm a classically trained musician, so practicing was just something that I always did every single day of my whole life. And when you're doing something like silver pouring, it takes some time, and so you should give yourself plenty of time to pour and melt and pour and melt and re-pour and melt. You can hear my dog drinking her water in the back there. Um, it's a beautiful art form because you can do that. You can just keep melting your product over and over, and in the process, you learn. So that would be the first thing: is don't be in a hurry. Enjoy the hobby. Try to get some skills. The other thing would be to follow people like you and me and as many other people that have lasted a little bit in the silver pouring game, and just kind of watch how they do things. I found MK Bars was the one guy who was kind of doing it before I was getting involved, and he was super helpful and really nice, Michael Cabrin. And I try to kind of emulate that as I help people. So I get people asking me questions almost on a daily basis, and I answer most of them. I keep a couple of secrets, but that would be the other. Is most of the silver pourers are just really nice people and are happy to help. So don't be afraid to ask questions. And the third thing is get equipment that suits your what you intend to pour. I see a bunch of people, getting the big red Chinese furnaces, and they're trying to pour fractional silver, and it doesn't make any sense. If you know you're going to pour small pieces, get yourself a little quick melt propane thing, or just use a clay crucible and a torch. So kind of have an idea of what it is that you want to do before you invest in a bunch of equipment, and then just have fun. Practice, practice.
Yeah, great advice. And I will also say I'm good friends with Michael, and he does amazing pours. I love his stuff. There's so many people in this community. We can all learn from each other and sort of grow together. And I agree. It's a very helpful community. I try and answer all the questions I get. I don't have as much skills as you, Hiho, but it's always nice to talk to you, Hiho. And again, if people want to check out the new 1 ounce prayer at Valley Forge Bunker Bullion rounds. I have one. It's absolutely gorgeous. Great work on these. You're very well known in the silver community, and we appreciate all you've done over these years. So thank you so much, Hi Ho.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you again. Have a good night.